Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Comfy Nest with Grace YouTube channel. We are going to be working on a junk journal cover today. I generally do my covers last. And these pages came from a printable that I created for the membership group, the Craft Therapy Club. So I gave them this printable as a freebie in December, and I combined it with some of the pages that I gave them for a free printable in November and decorated some of these pages already with some fabric. This has burlap with a napkin on it. This has got some, painted cheesecloth on it. So as we flip through these pages, I've already gone ahead and done some decorating on some of these printables. So this is the printable, and then on the other side, I chalked and glued down some lace. So these have already been prepped, but now I need a cover for them. So I'm going to work on a cover today. So when you get here, please let me know that you're here. Say hello. Hey, Lynn Perkins, how are you, friend? Welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday afternoon. Can you believe it? It's already Tuesday afternoon. It's crazy, right? Hey, Lori, how are you? How's it going, friend? So I'll probably, oh gosh, guys, I have a big, thick flannel shirt on. See, so cute, but I'm like really super hot. I have to take it off. I turned on the heat. I do this all the time. I turn on the heat because I'm cold, and then the heat starts going, and then I get super hot. So I'm going to take this off, peel it off. I do have clothes underneath. I have another shirt underneath, more plaid, but just got to get more comfortable. So I have a couple of different options here that I was thinking about for a cover. One is just a big, used, this is junk journaling at its finest. Big used manila envelope. This would actually fit it just fine. It's actually just a little bit big, but that would work. And then we could work the flap into either the journal cover, or I could use this as a tuck spot for things. So that's one option. And I found this envelope that I had stashed away, and it's corrugated on the inside, but look at it, it's the right size, guys. It's the right size, guys. I'm gonna cut this up a little bit and see what we can get going from this. I'm gonna cut this end so that it opens it up, and I'll cut this side off. And then let's just see what this looks like as a cover. I don't love this is taped closed. Like, how would I sew into the pages? Because it's not going to give me a flat edge. Let's cut and see what we get. I kind of would like to use this. I think it's really cool. But I'm going to cut some stuff off and see what we get. Let's just clip off the bottom of this first. I'm going to do just like I did yesterday with my big knife. Hey there, Denise. How are you? It's the perfect size, right? It's the perfect size. If we can get this to work, that would be lovely. I love the texture of it. Whoops. Now, I already have like the first couple of cuts established. Oh, not quite. I didn't quite go all the way through there. Uh-oh, my glue just fell. Imagine that. There we go. Okay, now we have a tube. This side isn't straight. I didn't cut it open straight, but that's okay. Let's just figure this out. Uh-oh, we ripped the inside. Darn it. I wonder if it would work to use one of these little envelope openers. Like, isn't that the coolest inside? Right? Super cool texture right there. What I don't know is how I would sew this in, because this doesn't really give me something to work with here. I think I would have to cut that off too, and if I cut that off, it may still be long enough. That is a dare. That's a double dare right there, Gracie. this ripped, but that's okay. I can glue that back down. It didn't tear off, it just came off there. Just throw a little glue in there while we're working. What's everybody up to today? I'm not feeling great this week, you guys. I'm just not feeling good. And add to the fact, you know what, it's so, this time of year is maddening to me because, oh, I have to do taxes. And you guys, I've mentioned this to you before. It's horrible, I know, but I haven't touched anything with my bookkeeping since March. So it's not like I just have to gather my stuff for the accountant. I have to do all my bookkeeping since March. I know somebody should smack me on the hand like a ruler, like the nuns used to do. like naughty. That's so naughty, right? It's so bad. I know. And so now I dread it. I dread doing the work. So this time of year is just tough. It's like tough cookies, Grace. You did it to yourself. I can hear my dad talking to me again. You did it to yourself, Gracie. I'm going to try to cut off this little edge there. Didn't come all the way through. Almost did. Well, now look what you did. Now look what you got, Gracie. There it is. Okay, let's see if now I had to get rid of that because well, these two sides go together. Now I would have to put something over that to sew the pages into, but it's like the perfect size. Right? It's so cool. I get so cheesed using up junk, you guys. I really do. So now actually, I was thinking, because this is kind of rustic and grungy, like I love things, I was thinking about covering it with burlap. This piece is not big enough. But I could sew the burlap onto here and glue it. This piece is definitely big enough. Yeah, definitely. We got enough of this. So I could glue that down and then sew it. I would leave a raw edge because I think that would be really cool to have a raw edge around it. I'm just wondering if I shouldn't put something in there for sewing. Here's that leftover piece. If I flatten that, that would be perfect. It's the right size. It's the right material. I could sew if I sew that, like, then I'd be able to sew that one signature onto that as the binding, and it would be a soft cover, but I think I like the idea of it. I know it was pretty hard to see because it's all brown. It's the perfect size. Today, washing laundry. I never have liked doing laundry. Denise, I don't mind doing laundry at all. You guys, this sounds so outdated, but I really do enjoy my housework. I love washing dishes. I don't love putting them away, so I do have the kids help me with that sometimes, but I love washing dishes, and I love doing housework. I do. We definitely have to cover this up because it has my address on it, right? We don't need that. And I wonder, is that going to show through a little bit? I'm going to paint that, or I have to do something with it because we can't have that sticking out there. Okay, I'm going to paint it maybe just brown. Just grab like a neutral color, put a coat of paint on it, because I don't need my address out there in the world on somebody's book. I'm going to cover this up with some, whoops. I don't even need some creep grabbing it off YouTube. I don't mind if you guys have my address, but I don't want some creeper grabbing it. Whoa. Let's just cover this up. I don't mind grungy. Like, I don't mind this showing through. I don't mind the original envelope showing through. I just don't mind that white address label. And I think this paper envelope is thin enough that if I were to try to rip it off, it would tear the whole thing. so I didn't even attempt that. There. Easy breezy. That's lemon squeezy. True junk journaling today, girls. We're using the junk. Now, I think I'll probably use some washi tape on the inside. I may just keep this for the inside because I think it is so stinking cool. I really do love to see remnants of the junk, like so that we can see that it was an old mailing envelope. I love that. I love to be able to see that in my projects. It just makes me happy. I started to make bread and then I forgot to put it in the oven. I wonder if I could coach my teenager to do it. The oven is all preheated. The loaves of bread are ready. I'm going to send him a quick message and tell him to come in here. I think I'm going to try to coach the 18-year-old to do this. Hold on, girls. This should be really interesting. He's the one who eats and enjoys this bread more than anybody. I'm telling him, come see me, please. I just sent him a little text. He's eating his lunch in the kitchen. So he should see that the oven is on. The bread is ready to go. I could coach him, like there's just one more step that needs to be done before they go in the oven. And then he would have to babysit it. Here he comes. I can hear him coming. All right, girls, let's see if we can accomplish this together. I have a job for you.
Talk to me.
Can you handle this? Okay, I forgot to put the bread in the oven.
Yeah.
Because I had that meeting.
The oven's just been ripping.
Yeah, it's all warmed up.
Mm.
Okay, so here's what you need to do. You peel off the saran wrap off the loaves of the bread.
Got it.
Dust it with flour. The flour is sitting right there. Dust it with flour and then cut the lines into it. Now, 4 diagonal lines is plenty across, but you could make it pretty like I did last time, like diamonds if you want. I wouldn't put more than 8, like 4 this way, 3 this way, maybe 7. Okay, just to give you a parameter. And then you stick them in the oven for 25 minutes, about. That's it. Can you handle that while I'm live? So we'll be cooked 25 minutes. 25 to 30 minutes. So at like 20 minutes, check it for doneness.
Copy that.
Yeah. We like it a little darker, so I usually leave it in a little longer. Yeah, let's see if this kid can do it. That's so funny. All right. So now I'm thinking I'm going to run this through the machine for sure, but I think I'm going to glue it down first, and then I'm wondering if I shouldn't just... do I want a piece of decorative tape there? Because this will be the inside of the book. I think it might be pretty to have a little piece of decorative. I'm looking up at my tape collection. My collection of tape. This page is pink. It's Christmassy, but it's pink. Hold on. I can't see you guys. Hold on. I lost my feed. Hold on. What's going on here? Get me out of here. Where are you guys? There you are. He's wondering why it's not in the oven. Yeah. He's like, why is the bread not ready? I forgot. I had a meeting at 1 o'clock with the ATC mystery box girls, and I forgot to put it in the oven while I was in the meeting. Kimberly does the same thing with her kids. We're going to see if he can handle this, ladies. If he burns the bread or if it's undercooked, we'll just know he didn't follow instructions. I love the junk best too, Lynn. All right, let's see. I definitely have lots of tape that I could choose from. I don't necessarily want it to be like super Christmassy. And since this is pinkish, I could put that down. That would be very pretty there. It's a floral. It's got gray, a little bit of a peachy yellow. I don't know what that color is, and some pink in it. I don't particularly like to overthink this stuff too much. It's so interesting. We did the journals on a journey yesterday. And I admire all of the ladies. I love their work so much, but we each have our own style, right? Like my preference is that we see that it's junk. I love that. My preference is that we mix pretty and clean with grungy. and not clean, like not it's not like it's dirty, but I like grungy stuff, and I like to use used things in my books, leftovers. Those are the kinds of things that make me happy. So I'm gonna, just so I can get this tape on here easily, I'm gonna remove this because it's all wrinkled up and it's moving the papers around. I'm going to put the tape on, and then I'm going to glue it to the burlap, and then I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and sew. So we have some stitching on the outside. Now, I'm trying to line this up nicely. I could use the grid lines on my, well, we're not using this envelope, so this can go too. I could use the grid lines. Now, this isn't like perfectly straight, so I could use the grid lines on the table to get it lined up. I don't really need a gap. I don't need a huge gap here. One other way to do this that is sometimes helpful, take like one of your big rulers or anything straight. It could be even another book. And then, you know, if that's sitting here, use that to put the edges of your project up against it. That's going to help you get straight without it like moving around too much on you. It appears as though this piece, this center piece, is like just a snippet too long. So I'm going to cut off this side because it's already kind of crooked. It's just a smidgen too long. Let's see now if it's going to line up. Yeah, there it is. See, we don't have to worry about measuring too much. I don't need a ton of space in between those panels because it's all very soft material and it's going to fold whether or not I left a gap there or not. So I'm not worried about that. It keeps budging though. Every time I pick up my hands, it tends to budge or move on me. Now you are underneath there. Now I would definitely want to reinforce this though with some glue. I think this could be very pretty. I love the texture of this, so I'm keeping that just the way it is. I'm trying to figure out the best way to get some glue on here and get this down. I have to establish that without moving them too much, which is a bit of a challenge, to be honest with you, because as soon as I touch them, they're going to wiggle and move. The glue stick that fell down to the floor is the one that I want, of course. It's my permanent glue stick, and I'm going to put some of that on the washi tape. It's kind of off screen, but I'm going to apply this to the washi tape. I'm trying to do it so that you can see it, but not add too much work for myself here. I want to reinforce this glue. I can add more as I peel the backing off. I don't need it sticking to itself though. Come on now. Don't be a puke. Don't be a brat. I need more table space is the issue. The real issue. The real matter that is the issue. That's so much easier if you can lay it down. It's going to be pretty, right? I think I just got some on my table. Okay, it would be nice if I could start on one side. I think I need to hold this down because every time they're so light and airy, these panels, that every time I let go of them, they tend to move. Okay, they're just budging on me. Don't be budging on me. Okay, I think I'm going to do this. Oh no, my glue stick is already drying. If I can get this kind of established here, then I can go all the way down. And maybe what I'm going to need to do is sew oops, oh, sew some. But this is going to give us an idea of what this is going to be like. You know what, girls? I'm going to do on this back side. It doesn't need to be pretty tape. I'm going to take out that artist tape, that masking tape that I showed you guys yesterday. this wide masking tape, and we're going to put it on the other side to really reinforce that binding. Now that it's somewhat stuck together. I don't need to reinforce this, I don't think, with more glue. I could though. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. Ooh, nothing makes me more happy than using some junk. I have things with junk per se, and kids have a fit, but they love going to the junk hop sales. I was craving yesterday. I was getting ready for yesterday's event and realizing I cannot believe I don't have a single book, not a single book that was the right size for what we were doing yesterday. So I was like, how is that possible, Grace, that you have so many books in your house and you don't have a single book that I could use? I was just like dumbfounded by that. That is going to be really helpful in keeping that together. This one's very decorative, but look at it, it's popping up, and I think it's popping up because of the texture. I see here, I think it's the texture that's like giving me trouble. And now I'm starting to think maybe I should run this through the machine first and then glue the thing on. It's just what do you want it to look like? Because if I glue this to the burlap and then I want to reinforce this, I'm going to see those stitches on the outside around where the tape is. That could be kind of cute. Oh, that could be kind of cute. Let's try it. Just for fun. Let's do it. Okay. Now this is wrinkled, like not wrinkled, but it has fold lines in it, but I think we're going to try to make it work anyway. We can work the stitching in. It is twofold. The stitching can be, number one, cute, but it can be reinforcing, right? It's helping to reinforce and hold everything together. Now let me just see. Maybe it's more economical to take it and go this way because it's shorter this way. Yes, and if I can work that fold in, like work with it. It's already there, so maybe I can place the fold. Oh, I just ripped my tape. That fold, maybe I can just place it at the same spot of where my fold is on the book so that it is working together. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm making any sense whatsoever. I'm going to put that fold line, this fold line right here, in the fold line of the burlap. And we are going to glue this down. Now, can I show you something? Girls, it's in a big pile, but I cannot believe this happened. Last night, when we were doing the journals on a journey, I was talking all about the fabric glue and how it won't show through. Look at, can you see these lines? That's the glue. Okay, Fabrifix does not do that. But I was using the Beacon 3-in-1, and look at the glue marks. I don't know if you can see it. Do you see that's a glue mark right there? That's a glue mark. I was so confident that that was not going to show through. That's the side that has the felt panels. This side, same glue, no felt panels, and the glue is not showing anywhere. It's not showing on the inside at all. Now this is all going to get covered up. So this would have been the right side for it to muck it up. Nope, but nope, it mucked up the outside of my cover. I'm not going to redo it because I'm going to end up covering much of this fabric anyway. I think I'm going to put a chiffon tie on this and I'm going to glue it down the middle of this. And then I'll probably put some sort of lace or doily on the outside with an image of some sort. But I wanted to show you the Beacon 3-in-1. It on this side, what a mystery, on this side, no glue showing whatsoever. But on the side where I glued the fabric to the felt, the glue is showing. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Made a liar out of me. I was so confident that Beacon, because it claims it's a fabric glue. Crystal clear, instant grab, fast drying glue. So note to you guys, you know, I grabbed this because I saw Chris was using it and I was like, I'm going to try that. I was looking for a new silicone glue for my fabric, and this is somewhat cheaper. I like it. I will have it on hand, but for sure for my fabrics, I'm just going to stick with Fabrifix because it works. Because it works for sure. I know I can count on it. I want to make sure that the top of the burlap is hitting the top of the paper and it's not right there. So I'm going to overshoot, meaning I'm going to make it a little longer here and then I'm going to cut it to size. Okay. It's going to be a little frayed around the edges, but I like the idea of that. Okay. So we got to glue. I'm afraid to use the 3-in-1 now. Truthfully, because I don't know what it's going to do on the outside here, but where is this is my Fabrifix. This is what I have left of it. And I better just go out and buy me some more Fabrifix, even though I was trying to avoid the expense of it. Let's see if I can get this to come out. It could not soak in on the backside. Well, it did. I mean, it's felt. It's another textile, Lynn. So you would think it would. I was trying to get this off, but I can't. I might not be able to get this out of here, girls. We might be stuck with the beacon. Let us see what it wants to do, if it wants to play nice today. Come on. Thick, thick glue. Thank you, Lynn, for reminding everybody. She said, don't forget to like the video. Yes, please make sure you like the video. Please make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you're getting notifications as I'm posting new stuff. Oh, this comes off. Maybe I'll just use this big hole here. I could get that one off. I couldn't get the other one. This works for me. I'm going to sew, so I don't really have to be like uber generous with the glue. I mean, like I don't have to cover the whole stinking surface. I could do that. Okay. Right here. Oh, no, that hurts. That's where my cut is, girls. Ouch. Hold on. I just stuck the glue in. Remember I said I cut myself yesterday? It just went in my cut. That did not feel good. Stings just a little. You did it to yourself, Gracie. I can just hear my dad. You did it to yourself. All right. It's a lot of fabric to work with, but it's okay. We're just going to cover this up. I will cut this when we're done. All right, we got that one down. Now we're going to go on the other side. Uh-oh. Gracie? Yep, it's enough, but I'm just going to make it there. Okay, here we go. Same thing. Good gravy. Lynn, can you imagine I just did that? Hi, Gia. How are you, friend? This is the way I'm going to get the rest of this out of here. And does anybody use these little pastry bottles for your silicone glue? Like, can you clean that? This is one of those sweet Sugar Bell bottles. I mean, how do you clean glue out of a bottle like this? If I wanted to fill it with more, I just come in with more Fabrifix and just fill it back up again with the old glue. I got to add, obviously I need to add silicone. Look, it's stuck. Come on, I need you to come out. Hello? My kids are going to be like, someone's talking, Mom. No, it's me. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Yeah, baby. Now we got some flow. Look at that. No fine tip here. Who needs a fine tip? We're covering a book, for goodness sake. So this is something to keep in mind, too. I don't need a fine tip when I'm doing these book covers. I need it to spread far and wide. So I don't have to be obsessive about a fine tip on my glue bottles, because most of the time I'm trying to spread it on a big area, a big base like this. Big thread going through my burlap. Okay, for right now, because this is irritating the heck out of me, but I have all this extra, I'm going to cut down. I'm going to cut this down. You know, it's going to be bigger than I need, but just so I can get rid of this big piece right here. It's just going to be easier to work with without all this excess. Now, this is very wet. Uh-oh, we got something going on here that's not good. That's not good. So let's fix. Speaking of fixing, Fabrifix. Why did that happen? Geez, a little hot mess express lately, Grace. It's so warped. It's so warped. Warped. Why is it doing that, girls? I need you to glue down straight. I'm getting glue all over my table because the glue is going right through the burlap. I need it to glue down. And look what happened. Like, look at how warped it got. For goodness sickety sake. Could I live with that? I could cut down the size of it. It's just not sticking on there the way I like. And it's not dry yet, so I can keep maneuvering. Thankfully. There we go. Now we got it all on here. And I think we have good contact right here is the issue. It's like that bubble is giving me trouble. Bubble's giving me trouble. When I close the book, and it's going to have like this rounded edge here. It's going to look like a rounded edge because it's all soft. I think that's going to work just fine. So we need to give this some time to dry. And I do have glue all over my table. I want to reinforce, look at my edges. Well, you know what? I'm going to end up sewing all of this. So it's probably not that important that I reinforce those with glue. I just need it to stick basically together. While that's drying for a minute here, I'm going to take a disinfectant wipe and get that glue off my table. Wonder Under. What is Wonder Under? Is that a glue? Wonder Under? Mary, tell me what it is. I've heard of it before, but why don't I know what that is? Like in my head, it's not immediately coming to me. That came right off, no problem, with the disinfectant wipe. So I just want to make sure I get it all off my little board here while that's drying. What is Wonder Under? Mary, if you don't mind telling me. Yeah, my burlap, it kind of got all wonky on me there, Lynn, but I think we got it. It's always an adventure here at the company. This is great. You never know what you're going to get. You never know. You never know. Okay. I need this to dry so that we can take it to the machine, and I'm going to sew all the way around, and I am going to sew some detail stitching around that tape, which I think could be very pretty and interesting as well. I'm going to cut this exactly to size. I'm going to take my rotary cutter and cut the burlap off, but I want to wait until after I sew and after it's dry to make sure that everything's in place where I want it to be. The fraying will stop when, once I've got it all stitched in. Any of the fraying, that will prevent it from fraying too much more, This little doodad. Did anybody see my question about, do you use these Sugar Belle bottles? And when you do, when you come up with a new bottle, you're starting a new bottle of glue, are you cleaning the Sugar Belle bottle, or are you just adding more glue to the bottle? Are you adding new glue to the old glue, is I guess what I'm asking. I will show you the packaging for this Sugar Belle bottle. A lot of crafters use this bottle for their glues because it has that silver fine tip. They're expensive bottles. You have to buy the stinking little silicone tip separately from the bottles. You can see you get the bottles. I don't know why the cover doesn't come with it. You have to buy them separately. But I thought I would try them, and I do like the bottle. It's really easy to squeeze and all that. I like that I have several options for opening it. But this is the first time I'm going to refill it, and I'm wondering, here's the tips. Why do they sell 2 bottles for tips? Why don't they just put the tips with the bottles? To me, that's a total racket, if you ask me, sweet Sugar Belle. It's a racket. Just a way to make more money off of me, I think. Just put them together. People want that. Why would you buy it and not have a tip for it? Doesn't make any sense. I'm just going to reinforce with my glue stick since it's right here and it's fast and easy. It'll dry fast. All right, so do I need to clean it? Yes, it's for icing. Yes. Lynn doesn't use them. Iron on one side of the fabric. Take the backing paper off and iron on the other side. Oh, you're talking about like Heat and Bond. Wonder Under. Yeah. I've never used that brand. I use Heat and Bond. Yeah, that would have worked great for this. You're right. Gia doesn't use the bottles. I have a hard time enough dealing with the fine tip and cover of the Art Glitter Glue. Me too. I'm not a huge fan of the fine tip. I know that everybody uses it and swears by it. I'm just going to tell you, I am not a huge fan of a fine tip. I have not had much luck with them. They don't flow. The only bottle that I will tell you, these work really, really well. This has a fine tip here. The glue always comes out. I've never had trouble with it. And on this side, it has a broad tip. It's sticky right now because of the dry glue, but, and I've never had trouble with this Tombow. This comes in a couple of different, with it. The bottle itself, they have a couple of different glues that they use this bottle with. And I have found this bottle to work really, really well. And for as often as I need a super fine tip, I think that would work well for me. Now, I did buy that gun that Ruth told me about. And this one, this one is not that fine of a tip, actually. It came with an empty bottle with the not so fine tip. And I put my Art Glitter Glue in here. And then it also came with, this gun also came with a bottle of Nuvo glue. And this one has the ultra fine tip. Has the little holder that when you take your cap off, you put that on the front so you don't lose your cap. And then as you're using it, there's a little silicone plunger in the bottom of here where my finger is that holds this closed so that it doesn't clog on you in between uses. It kind of holds it so air doesn't get into this. I would say I have not used it enough to have formed an opinion if it was worth $33, because this setup was $33. You got the stand, the gun part, you got 2 bottles, one with Nuvo glue and one empty bottle. And in this bottle is where I put my Art Glitter Glue. I was going to take it out and show it to you. It's the same bottle, but I put a little piece of painter's tape on it. You can see it sticking out there. And that's my Art Glitter Glue in here. And I actually prefer the empty bottle because the metal tip is not as fine. This one has the really fine tip. I'm not a big fan of the fine tip. It just doesn't. For the amount of work that it takes to keep the glue from getting stuck in there, I don't think it's worth it. Oh my word, you should see my leggings, girls. Hold on, I'm trying to go get Babsy. Come here, Babsy. I need you. My leggings are so full of burlap, it's not even funny. Not even funny. Okay. It's not even a little bit funny. I'm gonna have to use some tape to save myself from all of the fibers that are on my leggings. Okay. Press your foot to the right because I'm a righty. Project from underneath. And I am going to sew first. Oh, you can't see this at all. Let me see if I can lift you up. I know I can. Just hang tight. There we go. Now I get a boob shot. Woohoo! All right. I'm going to sew this first. And that's going to give us a really cool detail on the outside of the... And in fact, I could at the same time, we could put something decorative on the outside, like another piece of fabric or something. Should I do that? I kind of like the idea of just the naked stitching. Is that a word? Showing up. Let's see what it looks like. So I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to sew all the way around the edges, and then I will cut off all of the excess. I just need a straight stitch for this. I don't want anything fancy. So let me look here. Just a regular straight stitch, but I like it to be, the stitches not to be too close together, if that makes any sense. If I can say it twice, too close. It's a scam, right, Lynn? Why do they do that? Like, seriously, who's going to buy the bottle and not have a cover on it? And why do you sell 4 covers with 2, and then you have a package of 2 bottles? Because they want you to buy 2 more bottles. It doesn't make any sense. I'm not falling for it. It's loud. I'm sorry, friends. Oh, I hope I don't run out of thread on that bottom bobber. I haven't, uh-oh, I went a little crooked there. I haven't been filling this. There's so much stuff in the way here. I have not been filling it. I haven't had to fill the bobber yet, that bottom bobber. I'm gonna get all my glue bottles out of the way. Oh, I can hear the timer for the bread. One more, and I need you to land inside the project so I can pick up the presser foot. Swing this around. Wait a minute, why is this got no cover on it? Gracie grew. I'm such a little slob when I create. I just leave stuff everywhere. I get so excited to get to the next step. Uh-oh, that didn't sound right. Uh-oh. Do you hear this? Why are you giving me trouble, mister? Let's do a little inspection. Okay, no weird threads hanging out in wrong places, so I'm going to keep going. Did you hear that noise, though? This is unlike anything I've done before. That just made me think of that song, To All the Girls I've Loved Before. Who sang that song? Was that Julio Iglesias? You guys, I cannot sing worth of beans. I can't sing, but you know that song? That's what that made me think of. To all the girls I've loved before. The singing junk journaler. All right, we got back to the beginning. Let's see what it looks like on both the inside and the outside. All right. You cannot see it here a whole lot from where you're sitting. I can see it, but you can't. But look at on the outside, I used a white thread all the way around. It kind of gives it that pucker. You can see the pucker more than you can see the thread. Here's where it must have, no, that's where I ended. No, that must have been where it got stuck. A little extra thread on that side. I'm all right with it. I'm all right, because you know it's going to get all decorated probably on the outside. I love a little detail. You know what I'm going to do here? I'm actually going to tie these together. The two strings are kind of hanging out here. I'm going to tie them together to make sure the stitches don't come out. Just a precaution. Who sings that? I think it's Julio Iglesias. Is that his name? All right, we did that. Now we're going to go around the edge. And I think for this one, I will use a decorative stitch. Now, it's too big on this side, so I absolutely have to use this side. And I'm going to go all the way around the whole book with a decorative stitch to make this look a little pretty. A little pretty. If I had ambition, I might change the color of the thread, but I have none. So I just go with it. I just go with what I got. Lynn, did you like my singing? Hey, Patricia Quigley. How are you, friend? Thanks for joining in for the YouTube live today. So I'm trying to do a good mix of YouTube live and dropping just regular recorded videos here on YouTube. So I have to decide. This corner is cut out right there. So I think I'm going to sew. Where am I going to sew? I think I'm going to sew along that. It's going to look a little ratted, but I like it. There's one little chunk of paper missing right there. So I'm going to sew along the paper line and follow the paper line. This is sticking up a little and I want that to get sewn down. So I am going to use a decorative stitch, like I said, something wide that's going to capture more of, and I probably want to go, no, I'm going to keep it loose. I'm going to do the loosest one that's there. And I need it to land in there. I have to turn it to grab, something's wrong. I think my needle broke. Not my needle, the thread broke. Yes, the thread broke. Turn it, Gracie. Turn it all, stinkers. Yep, the thread broke from out of the needle. So we got to redo. We got to redo. It's okay. It's all good. The hardest part about this is rethreading the needle. This thread is very thin, I will say. This is the thread that came in the machine. And I will say it's probably not the best quality thread. You know, like when I'm using it though, I'm not going to throw it out. When I do finally run out of it, I'll be putting much better quality thread in there, so I shouldn't have these breakages. And now I'm starting to wonder if maybe the zigzag stitch is just going to be asking a little too much of Babsy. I can't see, girls. Hang tight. Middle-aged eyeball problems here. I cannot see the little hole in the needle. There, I got it though. I got it. I went by feel and I got it. All thread. I think this thread is not very good quality. I will say that. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't ever hold anything back. I'm kind of an open book with you guys or gals. When something's going on, I tell you straight up. Okay, I'm going to go with the straight stitch. I'm not going to muck around here because I want this to work. I don't want to be messing with the thread the whole time. So let's just, I'm going to give in to Babsy and let her have her way. She has to have a little bit of an attitude. She's getting a little bit feisty on me. Now, wait, down. I need you down in the down position. Get back down. Down. Thank you. My other machine does that for me automatically. Not to brag, but this one, not so much. This is going to be messy. It's not going to be, uh-oh, I'm hitting things over here. I'm going to do this so it stops hitting things. It's not going to be perfection. I'm not looking for perfection. For goodness sake, I'm making a junk journal for the purpose of using up some junk, right? And that is the charm for me with these junk journals, is using an otherwise throwaway envelope with some leftover burlap. It's going to be wonky. Oh, we hit something. It's funny. It makes me wonder if it's not. Is that the glue? What did we hit there? Because now it's doing fine. I wonder if it hit a little bead of glue. She's just chomping away anyway. My line is so wonky, girls. It's nothing straight. There's nothing straight about this line. But listen, it's all good. It's going to be so cute and charming. To me, that's so charming. It's like the way I put on my eye makeup. It never is symmetrical. Uh-oh. Come on. I'm getting close to the edge here. I need to move you over a little. I need to push her. One more side after this. I'm going to knock the tape off the table. We got all kinds of challenges. All right, a couple more. I'm going to let you go right there, baby doll. I'm going to let you just do your thing. Okay, now I really need to make sure I don't have huge puckers in this. That sounds funny. Because there's a little pucker I can see right there. I'm gonna have to work that out somehow. I got a plan. The material wants to bend or like pucker on me. I hate that word actually, pucker. There we go. Now I'm going to come to these stitches that are the end of that center stitching. So I straighten those out so they didn't look all wonky. One more. There we go. Hold on. I'm going to peek at this before I move it. No, Gracie, go a couple more. I'm going to do a couple things here. Hold on. It's in the down position. This is the spot where we started, where there's that little notch of paper missing. So we're double reinforcing that corner. And I'm going to cut that long. So see what I did? When I originally came, let me get a little pointer. When I originally started, I missed the notch. I went around the notch. And now when I finished, I, like as though the paper was there in that corner, I did a square. So it's completely sewn. And I can see now there's bits of glue right there. So maybe that's what the needle was hitting, was bits of glue. Okay, girls, look, how pretty is that for the inside? I kind of actually think I want that for the outside. It's so pretty. Anyway, this was going to be the outside. Let's cut. I really love that. I love this panel so much. I may do something on the outside. It's just too plain, right? Let's cut the edges off so I'm getting more of a visual here for myself. Are you guys still there? I'm not seeing any comments. I'm going to cut. I'm going to take there's lots of silicone glue right here. There's lots of it right there. So I don't know how my rotary cutter is going to get through that, but we're going to try. And I'm wondering, before I do this, do I want to tie off these threads like I did before? To tie it off, I've got to get the thread. The last time I tied off, I don't know if you guys sew regularly, this will make sense to you, but if you don't, this may make no sense to you. The last time I tied off, both of the threads for that stitch were on the same side, but this ended with one thread on the top and one thread for the end of that stitch on the bottom. So I need to get this through to the top so I can tie them together. So if you tug on this, it'll bring up that stitch enough where you can use your seam ripper or like a tweezer or something. And what you want to do is pull that thread through so that you have two threads on the top. Geez, I think I need my readers again. Oh, I got it. I had it and then I lost it. So, okay, so now both threads are on the top and now I can put a little knot in them. So I make sure that that thread doesn't come loose. Is that making sense? If you're a sewing person, if you sew, if you've quilted, if you've had some experience with sewing, that may make sense to you. But if you've never sewn before, that might be something that like you wouldn't have thought of before. Okay, so I tied it 3 times just to reinforce it a little bit. Now, this one was the beginning thread, and same thing. I have one part of the thread is on the top and the other side is on the bottom. So again, I would have to pull it through. So if I tug on this, it usually gets that one to pop up through and give you a little loop that you can grab onto. I can't see a darn thing. Jeez, I need to get my glasses back. You're painting a tray, Lynn? Watch my fingers. Did you think I was going to clip myself? I already have that injury from yesterday. That's all I need, Pat, is to have another injury. Good gravy. I got to get my taxes done. I can't have injured fingers. I think I stitched right over this because I'm having trouble getting that loop to come through. I think this was the beginning stitch and I stitched right over it with the ending stitch. And so I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to, which is okay because it means it's secure and in place. I can't even get to it. I'm just going to leave it. Not going to worry about it here. I'm not going to worry about it because we've stitched over it. And then I'm going to take this off the back side. I'm being a little fussy about that now, aren't I? Now I'm going to cut and we're going to see how nice and neat this is going to look. Gracie, think about this. Use my ruler to make sure I have a nice straight line here, but everything's a little bit wonky. So what straight line am I going off of, right? I don't want to go off my stitch line. It's probably best to go off of at least the inside panel right here is straight. So I'm going to line up one of the horizontal lines on my ruler with that. and then move this over enough so that I don't want to cut the paper. I just want to cut off the burlap. I don't even have my rotary cutter out. Goofy girl. You think you're going to make progress and you're not even in the right place. There. That was easy breezy. Nice, clean line there. And now we're going to do the same thing on all the other sides. So let's go this way first and get rid of this panel. Same thing, lining up the horizontal line on my, I actually should use this line down here. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm a righty, so how would I do this? I better go like this way. You're going to have to see my head for a minute, girls, so I can get this lined up. I need to stand up. I used to make all of my work suits. Oh, did you really, Lynn? That's stinking impressive. I'm sorry about my head, but I have to line up one of the lines on my ruler. So I'm getting a nice straight line there. All right, so we have that. Looking good, right? And I'm making sure I'm not cutting my stitch line because that would defeat the purpose of the stitch line. The stitch line, right here I went over the paper just a tish. It's unfortunate. I don't have enough padding this way. I have to turn this way to have it long enough so I can cut. Okay, again, need more room. This is coming along nicely. I'm quite pleased with it, actually. All right, now I need to find a line that I can use to line up. Like these are straight. I might have to go like a horizontal line. These are all a little bit wonky. All right, I'm going to use now, this line here is straight. So I'm going to use now the vertical line on my ruler to line up with that so that I can cut this. I had to pick a line that I could use that's going to give me a straight visual point to make sure I'm getting a straight cut. Thankfully, my ruler is long enough. Uh-oh, cut into my paper just a tish right there, I think. Right there, where it was a little harder to cut. Oh, pretty, pretty, pretty with all that stitching. I like that the stitching's wonky. I may even want to add another stitch line because I love the wonkiness of it. I may want to just make that more bold, but let's get this cut down all the way and then I can decide not only that, but also do I want to put something decorative? Well, now this line here is straight. So I could use that as my straight base. I really love the detail of that washi tape on the inside, so I'm starting to think I should add something on the outside, like a piece of decorative fabric on the binding. Why am I struggling to get this line? I've got bits of burlap everywhere. Oh my word, this is so pretty. I love that it's soft. I love the contrast. I generally really do love a hardened outside book, but sometimes a soft book is so luscious too. Lush is the right word. You guys, I really, really love this detail. I'm going to stick to my original plan and have this be the outside, but now is the time, if I'm going to put something decorative here, it would really make the binding pop in such a pretty way. There's that little piece that we added that we're going to be sewing the signature into. And my stitching is equally distant on this side and this side. So it'll look like that. I'm going to just quick look and see of my fabrics that are just sitting right here. This is the one This is the one we used yesterday. I don't know if this is wide enough. That could be very pretty on there, you guys. That's a really wonky strip. But this is junk journaling to me at its finest, like using what you already have. This has been cut with a pair of scissors or something, but very wonky. And this side was ripped and it's straight. So if I can establish another rip right here, I might, sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. I might be able to get another nice rip line on this side that matches. It's kind of thin. I don't know if it's going to work. My son is playing guitar. Crazy, crazy pants. It's not going to work. It's too thin of a piece to rip. But I like the idea of just using this because it's already established. I need to go, how high, Grace? Up to that crease, really. Let's see if we can line this up and just cut it with a ruler. First of all. I just want to cut off the crooked part. That's my goal. Because I don't want it to be that wonky on the outside, right? Can we make this work? Can we salvage this piece of really pretty, nice sharp blade? My new blade that's so sharp that cut my finger yesterday. It could have been a lot worse. It looks fabulous. Thank you, Lynn. The stitching, it adds so much, right? What do you think about that on the outside? It's a Christmas journal. It's Christmassy, but it's pinks. It's got pinks in it. And I have pinks and purples. I added a little teal there. Why not? Let's do it. It kind of matched this. So I think that would work. What do you think? I'd do one more stitch line all the way around that to get that to stick. To get it to secure it, I should say, is the right word. This part right here is a little wonky because I cut it with the scissors without any regard for straightness. I don't need it. Like I said, I don't need it to be uber perfect. I'm okay with it being a little wonky, and I really like the distressed, the torn distressed look anyway. It feels like it's a little wider on this end. Let me double check my measurements here. And now it's way wider. Gracie Grew, what were you thinking? All right, hold on, girls. Like, look at it. It's like, can you see that? It's considerably wider on that end. I mean, considerable. Can you consider that considerable? Really? This is what I'm talking about. Listen, if it does not bring you joy to be this precise, then don't do it, girls. I'm going to put the torn side on the front because I like it that much more. This side is not torn up. It's just, I just cut it with a rotary cutter, so it's a little bit too perfect for me. So I could take this thing and just kind of run it along here to rat it up a little bit. Over time, as it's like handled, it probably will rat up a little bit more, but it'll be protected because it'll be within the stitch line. It's going to have a secondary stitch line, but it should mimic what's already underneath there. It's about the same size. So the inside will have a second stitch line. I'm okay with that. You were just thinking what, Lynn? I'm going to do this just to help it stay, and I'm trying to focus this in the middle so that my sewing machine doesn't cross ooey gooey glue. I'm so happy with this little endeavor here, to be truthful with you. This is what I was doing yesterday. Do you see all the little pieces of burlap on there? I was doing this and cleaning it off like a fool. And I came back too close and slashed my finger. Don't do that, girls. Don't do it to yourself. We just tell you it's never good. All right. I'm just going to go around that just like I did the others. I need you, Babsy, to move over. This shouldn't take but a few minutes. I'm going to make some room here. Let me hang up my ruler. I don't think I'll use that again today. Put away these two things. Put away my rotary cutter. Making some room, girls, just so I'm not battling with all this stuff. It's like a matching, be a matching cover to my other one. She's so lightweight, I can move the whole thing when I pick up the stitch line. There you go. Uh-oh, don't be getting puckery on me. We're not looking for any ruffles here. All right, I'm going to use I have to get a seam ripper. Now that I'm sewing more often, I don't have one near me, so I'll just use something flat and straight to make sure that I can push that fabric under the presser foot. It's loose because I did not glue the edges. Remember, I stuck a little bit of glue in the center. Come on. It's like right in the middle. It's like where the extra glue is. It's getting Babsy a little upset. Sorry, Babsy. You're gonna have to grin and bear it. We're almost done here, baby doll. Come on, you can do this. See this stitch right here, or this thread right here? It's probably a good time for me to pull that through. I'd rather use my tweezers so I don't cut the thread. I'm going to pull it through before I end up stitching over it, where I can't get that to come through and tie it together later. Oh, I hope my son took that bread out. I'm going to do this right now. I'm just going to tie this. Most of the time when I'm sewing in my journals, something's going over the stitch lines and it's getting glued on top of the stitch lines. So I don't ever worry about my stitches coming out because there's something that goes over it and it gets glued down. It's not going to be the case with these. So I'm making sure to tie these. You don't normally see me do that, but for this instance, it would be important. Oh, right off the edge. Didn't mean to, but that's what I did. I want to cut this big enough so I can tie it. Babsy, scoot on over. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. All right, I got to pull this through. I wish I'd thought of that before, that, I didn't know I was going to like that. Oh, I went right off the edge, so I could literally tie this right on the edge of the book. Had I known I was going to like the washi tape on the inside so much, I could have done both of them at the same time, but it's okay. We're going to take a peek at the inside and see this second stitch line, what it looks like on the inside. It's probably all wonky. It's adding more detail to, more stitching detail, which truly I'm a fan of. Okay. That's what it's going to look like on the outside. Much prettier than it was before. I really like the combination of the soft, pretty cotton floral with the burlap. And then on the inside, oh my gosh, it's really pretty darn close on the sides. The stitches are, I don't even know if you can see that. The stitches are right next to each other. Here, there's a bit of a gap between the two stitch lines, but here they're pretty much all in this one little 1/4 inch space. I'm good. I'm totally good with that. This is going to live in here. that. Oh, it's a birdie. It's a birdie. I'm thrilled. I'm so thrilled. And before I sew in the signature, I am going to think through a tie for this. I may stitch here, and then stitch here a bit of fabric, like a chiffon or some kind of ribbon that I can tie with, since we're doing all this stitching anyway. And I'll do that before I sew this into place. But since it's already been an hour and 10 minutes, it won't be today. So this will be a to be continued. I would love to know what you think about it. This is junk journaling at its finest. I mean, this is an envelope. I was going to say it's an Amazon envelope. It's not an Amazon envelope. It's a burst. I had a burst toothbrush. Have you ever heard of burst toothbrush? I had a burst toothbrush for a while. I've had it for years. Oh, and it just broke. So I'm just getting rid of it. I had it for years. But the envelope was from that company, Burst, which is a toothbrush company. It's just a paper envelope that had the padding, and I love the padding on the inside. I love that detail. I love that we're using an old envelope. So I'm going to think through a little bit more before I work on this one again. Number one, I'm going to sew on some kind of ribbon for tying it. I also may want to sew on or add a pocket. Maybe not. I always put pockets, but maybe this one I won't. Maybe I'll just leave it. It's so pretty, plain. Maybe I'll just leave it plain and just do the tie. Oh my word, do I love this book so much. This is considerably bigger here. There's about a 1/2 inch space from the end of the signature to the book, but I'm okay with that because see how this cheesecloth is hanging out so far. I like things when I'm decorating the pages. I like things to kind of hang out. So the cover being a little bit bigger, I'm really good with that because it matches my style. It's an envelope. Yeah, it's an envelope that I got something in the mail. That's what this is. And we kind of took it apart and put it back together in a book cover shape with some fabric, and this is washi tape to make it decorative and pretty. I'm so excited. All right, ladies, I'm gonna hang it up. I'm gonna go check on that bread. Look at my shirt. Do you see this? That's my shirt. It has so much thread and burlap all over it. So do my leggings, but I better shake that off here in the craft room before I go check on the bread. You guys have a beautiful, blessed day. Thanks for joining me. Please make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. And if you have it in you, hey, I can get on camera here. You can actually see me. If you have it in you to do it, I need about 170 watch hours here on YouTube. I'm not too proud to admit it, so that I can get monetized on YouTube and start earning income from YouTube, which would be so nice to have that extra source of income. So if you have a chance to pull up, either rewatch this, like someone who's just coming on, like Leslie, if you're just hopping on now, maybe when I'm all done and I hit the end button, just rewatch it, have it running in the background while you're like, you know, hanging out with a puppy or the grandkids or cooking your dinner. That bit of time that you spend watching one of my videos will contribute to that 170 hours that I need to get monetized, and I would appreciate it so much. So thank you to all of you who do that. I love you, girls. Thanks for being here with me. I'll see you next time.